So finally we find ourselves in Exodus 17 verses 1 to 7. So now we're going back to that opening scripture. The whole Israelite community set out from the desert of Sin, traveling from place to place as the Lord commanded. They camped at Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink, so they quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink." Moses replied, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to the test?" But the people were thirsty for water there, and they grumbled against Moses. They said, "Why do you bring us up out of Egypt to make us and our children and our livestock die of thirst?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What am I to do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." The Lord answered Moses, "Go in front of the people and take with you some elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff which you struck the Nile, and go. I will stand there before you by the rock at Horeb. Strike the rock, and water will come out of it for the people to drink." So Moses did this in the sight of the elders, and he called that place Massah and Meribah, because the Israelites quarreled and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" Interesting thing about this is that same morning when they complained, that same morning they ate the manna, the supernatural food. And the evening before that morning, they had the quail, the quality meat that God gave them. A few weeks, possibly before that, they were thirsty in another instance, but they only had bitter water, and God made that bitter water consumable for them, fit to drink. And yet, when they find themselves in this situation where they're thirsty again, it's a similar situation. They still do the same thing that they did before, and they continue to grumble and to complain and say, "Why did you bring us out here? You want to kill us and our livestock. I mean, what's the point? Why didn't you just leave us in our uncomfortable comfort zone? They would have served the Egyptians and died and be buried in proper graves, you know. I mean, there were graves there. We sat around pots of meat. It was nice. Now you've brought us out here in the desert to kill us." After God showed them all his goodness, they still assume that God is out to kill them. They still refuse to see God's goodness.